Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 in the series between ByunPrime versus Revival. I think Byung's prime actual name is Byung, but let's just go ahead and jump straight into this game. ByunPrime spawning as the red Terran player on the top right hand side of the map of Cloud Kingdom. Revival spawning on the bottom left hand side as TSL Revival. And this is a Zerg versus Terran once more, and we'll see what the Terran player tries to do in order to even up the series. In game 1, I think his major flaw was that he didn't get Ravens. A lot of the time, Terran players going up against Zerg players as of late, the tech has really been a lot of heavy mech, but really not that much detection. Normally, you would not think of Zerg as a race where you have to worry about a lot of burrowed offensive units, but with those infestors and their ability to move while burrowed, they can easily come in, drop in a whole bunch of infested Terran, and even without weapons upgrade on those infested Terran, they were able to take down 25 plus workers. We'll see what's going to go down in this matchup now. Both players just setting up and doing their normal builds. We'll see if Revival goes for a fast hatchery or if ByunPrime goes for a fast command center. And we need to see when these players take their gas. Taking their gas will really dictate the pace and the strategy of the game. We now have one drone making a move in order to do a bit of scouting. No true hatchery being established as of yet, but as I say that, I see a second drone now coming down the ramp, and it looks like it will grow up to be a hatchery right now. So far in the other corner, ByunPrime opting to not go for a fast double barracks pressure, instead opening up with one barracks on the ramp. No gas as of yet, so we could see a command center placed down here momentarily, and then trying to utilize Marines to fend off the attack. Drones are being trained. We'll see what the SCVs are going to do, or what SCVs is going to do here. Yes, SCV will begin that scouting pattern as ByunPrime should raise up that supply depot. A drone will be able to slip in and out of there with no problem whatsoever. And now now an SCV order starting to do its scouting. Overlord is positioned right here, over here by the destructible rocks, a perfect position to watch your front door without getting shot down anytime soon. Command center already being placed down by Byung, and a Marine attempting to destroy this one supply depot will be able to do so without any problems, and we'll see whether or not a bunker will be established here. That is the standard procedure, as we now see Byung now going into double refinery rather early. Most Terran players like to go for double racks and then follow it up with double gas. But with Byung, he is going for double gas very, very early. He could be trying to go into two-base Banshee play, which I'm not 100% sure Revival would be able to respond and react accordingly to. Revival will need a lot more Queens in order to fend off if he is going for early Banshees. But right now, all we know that Byung is going for gas. And perhaps he could be trying to go for fast siege tanks with Marines to support. We can see that the command center is about to be completed. One SCV now trying to run away. It looks like it should be able to run all the way back home, as this command center should be completed in just a second as well. We are going into a factory with a reactor on the barracks. And this is a very, very telling sign that it should be Banshees, as we are still harvesting gas. Hellions do not cost any gas whatsoever, so it's a very good pressure unit in order to establish and then transition into Banshees, as you're able to save up gas for the cloak and also get that Banshee down pretty quickly. Roach War now being added on as well. Roaches will be the natural counter to those Hellions, as we now see a bunker established off over here. A little bit of a strange position, as Revival still doesn't know what's going on inside the natural expansion as of yet. The Marines could jump inside that bunker. They do exactly do that. Roaches now making their way out. Tech Lab being added on by that barracks. There's that starport. As I mentioned, the Roaches are going to have a small window of opportunity to deal a lot of damage to these Hellions, but the Hellions with their fast movement speed against Roaches that don't have Leo reconstitution may not be able to catch up. Barracks now flying off away. Byung is behind by about 13 supply. Things are not looking good there. Zerglings did spot the natural expansion now, and they're going to try to poke their way in. But how much damage can they really expect to do, especially with a bunker right there? I like that play by Byung, making sure that that mule did not do any more mining. 4 Hellions now moving out, and there are also roaches out. Those roaches going to cause a lot of problems. We are going into a Banshee and a lot more units over here. The roaches may be able to simply come in here and perhaps pick off a couple SCVs. 1 SCV does go down. 2 SCVs go down as Revival, starting where he left off in game 1, dealing a lot of damage. And now this is not looking good at all. We're going to see the roaches battling up against the bunker. The bunker trying to absorb some damage. SCV trying to repair. Is it going to repair in time? No, I do not believe so. The bunker does go down. We now have 6 Hellions going up against the remaining of the roaches. The roaches are taking a lot of splash damage though, but the timing will be almost perfect for those units, for that Banshee to come out to play. 1 SCV does get taken down. We are now going into the evolution chamber, and I believe Revival will have more than enough to handle this. A supply depot needs to be raised. This is looking really, really bad. Zerglings now coming into swarm. But all of those Zerglings are just going to take down Hellions, and Revival is now behind. He was hoping to capitalize on the front door push, take it down, and perhaps just flat out win the game. That is not going to be the case. We can see a new Banshee now being trained, and I believe this delay of the second Banshee may be a bit of a problem, as I think if there were 2 Banshees much earlier, these Spine Crawler Spore Crawler combinations wouldn't deal nearly as much damage. Hellion now making a move out across the field. We are going at 32 SCVs compared to 29 drones. 18 Zerglings were trained, and those 18 Zerglings didn't do much of anything except for get destroyed by those Hellions. So so with every pair of Zerglings that were destroyed early on, that was a drone that was not created. And now Revival, in a curious turnaround, is a little bit behind as we are now establishing up a 3rd base. Hellions now heading over to this 3rd base. There is a 1 Overlord there that I believe, yes, the Hellions do spot that Overlord there. Hellions are still making their way down, and ByunPrime needs to figure out what he is going to transition into. He cannot win the game with just Banshees and Hellions alone, as Zerg will most likely be teching into Mutalisk. The Banshee now looking to come in, getting off some more kills. Another drone gets taken down. The Banshee getting in a fair amount of kills already. The cloak is not going to really do anything there. A little bit of dancing back and forth in the Banshee, down to 14 hit points, able to barely escape there. Beautiful flying from that Banshee, beautiful micro, and now this Banshee is simply going to return home. 10 drones now being added, an Overseer being added. Harvester count 45 compared to 44, but a 3rd command center nearly completed. And I believe Revival is a little bit behind the 8 ball here. We'll see how he's going to follow this up, as we are now going into siege tanks and siege tech, the proper follow-up here. The roaches are not going to be able to deal enough damage to those siege tank lines. The Hellions are going to be able to torch through all of those Zerglings, and as long as the Banshees are there to take care of any roaches that are too close, that may be enough. Banshees now looking to just come in, finish off, take down some creep tumors as well. Another creep tumor will get taken down. Roach is now trying to push back in. That is not going to be successful, as we now see 1 Overseer in the air, keeping track of what's going on inside this base. Now SCVs being transferred to the 3rd and 4th gas, both of them just getting set up now. Viking hunting for an Overseer will be able to take that down, and as these Overseers get destroyed, I believe Revival may end up being supply blocked. You can see the Overseer already down to 21 odd hit points. There it goes. It gets taken down. Now upside down on supply. Another Overseer off over here. This Changeling should get spotted and rather quickly. Not quite sure what's going on here. This one Marine on the other side, as we now see the Viking coming over to take down another Overseer here. The Overseers do not have, no, they do have the, what's it called? They do have the movement speed upgrade, so Revival should be able to escape the Lancer torpedoes of this Viking. The Viking only has the same movement speed as well, but it looks like it will be going for Overlord hunting. Banshee now continuing to deal a little bit more damage, taking down a Queen, taking down a Changeling down over here, and now this Viking just in position, not really going and not really following up with any more Overlord hunting. Banshee perhaps should be backing off. Perhaps being repaired would be a good call here, as Byung now transferring some SCVs over to his 3rd base, getting up a missile turret and a bunker. Byung is behind in terms of overall supply, but he has more SCVs, 64 compared to 55. His army is now a little bit smaller though, as we now see a very, very heavy tech into roaches. The problem with roaches though is that for their food, they are not the best unit, but if they are utilized in a drop like this, it may be effective enough. That is a lot of roaches. These roaches are just going to simply unload straight up inside the main base. If perhaps a Viking can get off over there, that would be enough. There is enough defense on the front door as well, as the roaches are now making their way down. Banshees and Hellions. What's going to happen here? The Banshees and the Hellions are battling it up. The Queen now decides to back away. The Banshee is still looking to deal a lot of damage, and this may be a little bit of an issue here, as the Hellions now trying to survive a little bit longer. The Overlords still going to execute a perfect drop in just a moment, and no units can really get there in time. That is going to be a serious, serious issue. There's only one missile turret, and if that missile turret doesn't take down one Overlord, there is going to be a whole bunch of units inside the main base with no real serious counter. No Marauders, only Siege Tanks, Medevacs. Are the units spotted? Yes, the units are spotted. If ByunPrime is actually watching the minimap, he is trying to get some units back inside his main base. Here we go. And now the Overlord is going to get shot down here. The Queen now being dropped in as well. So that is a lot of damage here. Roaches coming in. Marines now trying to fight back as well. This is looking very, very bad. Just a doom drop coming straight in. Marines are coming over. Siege Tanks going to start blasting away, but they're going to start destroying their own supply depots as well, as the roaches are going to get perhaps pushed back out. There are still 16 roaches in this position. A lot of Marines, and no follow-up on the front door as of yet. A bit of a surprise, though, as Revival says GG. All right, a little bit of a surprise move there, I believe. It really felt like Revival still had a lot to do in this game. He is even on workers. He doesn't have a base off over here, but he could have still stuck around and perhaps done a little bit more damage. You can take a look at the production. More roaches were coming out. 2-2 weapons upgrade, however, coming in for those Marines. No combat shield, though. And it really felt like Revival GG'd a little bit prematurely. We'll see what happens in Game 3 of the series, as Byung was able to even up the series. So stay tuned for Game 3.